Greetings from Kansas City. It's Renee Benson at AV Renee KC. You are listening to and watching the AV Life.
Hi, this is Nancy Blanchard with Williams AV out of San Jose, California, and you're listening to and watching the AV Life.
Hello, this is Murphy Daly from Los Angeles County, California. I'm an AV and IT project manager and author, and you are joining us for the conversation and jolly times of the AV life.
And I'm your host, Tim Van Wert from Rutgers University, and you are watching and listening to the AV Life. And yes, it's always a joyous occasion and jolly good times as we have here on the AV Life. How are we all doing tonight?
Great.
Yeah, we're great.
Wow.
We got Tim with all the women tonight.
Yeah, I know he's a little outnumbered.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm the only East Coast person, and I am the only male on the show tonight. So,
And ironically, you're the one doing the childcare.
yes, I do have off to the side here is my little 6-year-old. He's coloring right now as we are talking. Yeah, it's summer. It is summer. I guess, yes, it is. We've now officially hit summer. We've passed June 21st, so we are now officially in summer. And that means my wife is working late hours with the camp and everything like that. So he is down here with me doing his best to keep himself busy while I do this. So I'm excited. I mean, this is gonna be a good night tonight. And yeah, so yeah, I know. So I feel like this has been a crazy week. I think I'm not the only one that feels that way too. So yeah,
like
I got
the
some
last
big
couple of-
nods.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks have just been like, I'm sitting here thinking it is literally going to be July 4th next week. Like,
Well,
what happened to June?
yep,
Where did June go? It's crazy.
yep. It's gone by very, very quickly.
And
So-
I normally have
July 8th.
InfoComm. So we didn't even have InfoComm. Normally June is packed because you've got ISTE, you got June, InfoComm, you have all these shows, and we didn't have any of that, and it still flew.
Mhm.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say it was kind of cool seeing some of our AV Brits having their little ISE
Yes.
show right now. And seeing everybody get back together again. And
Yeah.
I'm very
No, you
excited. Like,
specifically meaning the AV Jam UK in a bar having fun. Ifad and Jason and Kev.
Yeah.
exactly, our AV Brits. Yeah, that's so yeah. It because I know they've had to deal with a lot of different lockdowns,
Yeah.
more so than we have.
Right.
We've had ours and it varies from state to state and things like that, but they have really locked things down. So it was, I'm excited for them to have that opportunity to get back together, and I'm looking forward to, more events here in the States, regional or large
Me
scale.
too, I want to get back together.
Yeah.
Yes.
My
Yeah.
next show is NAB. And the way they're doing it, they're saying because it's small, is that they just have me flying in and doing 2 days, and then they'll have others, do others. And then we have InfoComm. So InfoComm will be our bigger show, as it always is, but that's where they're
Mhm.
putting all their resources.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, that's I'm having to go out and find my resources elsewhere to get myself to InfoComm. So I can't really say much more than that right
There's
now.
a way. You'll find a way.
There
So
is,
I-
Find
yeah.
a
If there's
way.
I have a
Everyone has to
customer.
find their own way to InfoComm.
I have a
or
customer.
Joe Way or
Joe Way, the Joe Way to InfoComm. He
the
will
Joe
love
Way.
I have a customer doing their national sales meeting in July. It's normally in March.
it.
And ironically enough, and I'm well excited to be there anyway, but ironically enough, it was the last show I did before the lockdown,
Oh,
because it was the first week of March in 2020. And their show will be the first thing I do. I think that's kind of funny.
the bookend.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
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 I've never been so excited to go work a trade show.
Yeah.
The show.
Yeah. And and it's funny because we're going out then this isn't conference related, but this is like personal related, that I'm actually going out to dinner on Saturday night. Like it's actually like we're going out to dinner. Like it's some of the kids from my son's class and the parents, and like we're all going out, and I'm like, this is great. It's like we get to be at a social event, and
You're gonna have to wear shoes.
Yeah, I know.
yeah, I gotta get a haircut.
So
I'm
the
getting a
way-
little shaggy again.
Yeah, the way it is here in Northern California, it's different. So if I were to go to Sprouts, you have to wear a mask. That's what they have out there. Whole Foods, you don't. You can choose. Same with Target, you can choose. And then in the malls, the same thing is that you can choose whether you want to or not. So it really is different. And what you find is that when you enter a store CVS, I had to wear a mask. But now what I'm finding is that when I enter a store, what's the first thing I'm asking is, do you have to wear a mask or not? And they said, no, it's up to you, whether you want to or not. So it's a whole different way of life at the moment.
Yeah.
Jersey
Part of
is
the
Jersey's a
transition.
lot of the same. Yeah, Jersey's in the same situation. It's like you don't know what you're literally what you're walking into is that,
Yeah.
so you always have to have your mask with you just in case. It's like you
Yeah.
you see that sign on the door as you're walking in, or maybe you don't even see the sign and it's like, I don't know what I gotta do.
No,
Yeah.
you're instantly looking at what everybody else is doing. Are they wearing a mask? Aren't they
Mhm.
wearing a mask? Yeah.
I'm taking a personal trip, so I'm flying to see family and friends tomorrow, and I'm gonna have to wear a mask the whole way, I believe.
Yeah.
On a
What
plane.
Yeah.
What airline are you flying, Murphy?
I forget which one is which. One way is American Airlines and one way is Southwest.
Ooh, mixing it up.
Yeah. Well, it turns out we had these miles on American we had to get
Yeah.
to use.
Hmm.
So,
Yep,
and
you'll
Well, I did.
they expired, so we had to use them, so that was good.
I did look at flights to Florida for Infocom, and actually it's only $250 round trip in October. So I'm like, okay, I
Pretty
could
good.
swing that.
Because
So,
right now flights are kind of weird. They're a little bit more expensive than they used to be.
mhm.
So I'm looking at flights too for travel, and I'm like, that used to be 129 or 179, and now it's a little bit more. But
Yeah, I think they're trying to recoup a little bit from
so.
the losses, but yeah, I mean, as long as they don't go, $500 round trip from
Yeah.
Newark to MCO, like it's like, all right, then it's
So on
doable.
our
So
local news today, they announced I think it was Frontier Airlines. Starting now, there's $1.49 per person, per ticket. And it's a COVID recovery charge.
oh,
I think it's $1.49, something like that.
Just that small. Okay, great. It's one of those fees. It's a fee to
Yeah.
have,
Well,
see, and I was
but we're calling it a fee just so that we can have.
yeah, like I'm okay with that because I
Fine.
feel like, all right, I'm helping you and you're explaining that that's what it's me
Yeah.
helping you back. Actually, what killed me in the beginning, and it had nothing to do with airlines, it was when I went for my first haircut, and the place I went to had a cleaning fee attached to my haircut, and I went, and it was like $4. I'm like, I'm not spending that much. Like, you're not spending that much on chemical to clean my chair when I leave. Like, it's
No.
yeah. And then about 2 to 3 months later, it disappeared. So I think a lot of people complained about it. So
Yeah, just call it what
It's
it
like-
is. I'm recouping from my loss, right? Just call it
right,
what
exactly. Well, and if you need to clean your salon, that is just part of your operating expenses, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Like,
Routine.
I bet the $4 was to pay one guy to go around and make sure everything was cleaned.
yeah, probably, unfortunately.
I bet there was just one guy, because the people who cut hair, well, that's a more specialized skill than someone who cleans. And so they're like, well, we'll just have a guy who collects all and that person will be there, and that's how they get paid.
Maybe. I mean, it's possible.
Interesting.
I don't know,
But-
but yeah, we've had to do some weird shenanigans.
We have.
Yes,
figure it
yes.
out.
But it feels like it's getting better. We're getting back to normal. It's, I've noticed going out that there are less people wearing their masks, and I know here in New Jersey, I think we're about 50% on vaccination. like as a state, like fully vaccinated. So I'll take that. And I think once they say okay to the kids, I think that's gonna put us over the 70% mark. So
But
Hmm.
I wonder, such as the UK and the US, they can't come here, we can't go there. I'm just wondering when that's all. I mean, the US, you can go to Italy. Why can't we go to the UK? I know there's the variant, but if you're double dosed or double jabbed, why not?
Well, Canada has an issue too, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, Canada does, but they poorly rolled out the vaccination program, so that's why. And all the provinces are so different.
Oh,
Because they're still pretty locked down, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's killing the border for US because
Yeah.
there's so much business that comes across.
Yeah.
yeah. And I've known like coworkers who want to go vacation over in Canada and they can't. Like they really want to go because during the summer it's nice to go north and
Right.
I can't even go to see family, so
right. And there's that too. Like but I think I'm hoping we're almost at that point that we can say, okay, let's open the border, let's get going. So
I hope
Yeah.
so. I really do.
yeah.
I have
And
a
yeah, I can see.
story. So a friend of mine took her and her brother and their families. Their kids all graduated, so they decided to go to Mexico for like a senior trip, graduation, whatever. Her husband can't go. He stays home. They all go. You have to test negative before you get back into the United States. I don't know if you know that or not. If you go to Mexico, your vaccination card doesn't do anything for you. You still have to test negative, right? So they go get their tests. The son tests positive. So everybody leaves, but the mom and the son have to stay because she's not going to leave her 18-year-old child there. 10 extra days. They had to stay 10 extra days. And he was in a room by himself because he was positive, she was not. I'm like, oh man, did you save enough money to stay 10 extra
I
days?
was gonna actually I was just thinking, I always thought about that.
Food and
Like,
everything.
yeah.
So luckily they gave her a really good rate and she could stay in her room and the all-inclusive and all that stuff, but still crazy. It's like,
Yeah, I can't even imagine. It's like, yay, extended vacation, but
She's by herself then for 10
Yeah.
days because the son had to
Right.
stay here and everybody else went home.
right.
It's bizarre.
That's nerve wracking and oh yeah, never mind. Yeah.
Well, I'll take my laptop when I go, and if I get stuck, I'll just have to.
Yeah. It makes you think. It's like, you know what? Maybe I should take my laptop everywhere I go
Yeah.
just in case.
Get stuck in Mexico.
Yeah.
I'll just have to bring an extra credit card.
Don't leave home without it, like they
Right.
always, like they say.
mm,
So, all right, Murphy, what do you got for us for a PM minute?
okay.
Yeah, I know I'm like totally like switching gears on the fly, but I'm sure we'll come back around with our
Yeah.
next part.
Oh.
So
That's fine. Okay, so when it comes to project management, you're thinking about the project, project, but you can't build a successful project without a foundation. And the foundation is the people and the process. You've got to have good people and people that are empowered to do the work of the project. People that are empowered, people that are skilled. And you have to have processes that they follow so everyone across the life of the project understands where it's at and what's expected of them. So for
Perfect.
a project, you got to have a foundation. You can't just be like, here's the project and have it live all by itself. It needs to have a foundation, and that foundation comes from time and work. It takes work,
Yeah.
not just the project manager, but the surrounding environment. So,
that's
and
yeah.
yeah, that's what
I was say I've seen projects that have just taken off with no processes or any foundation, as you say, and they flounder instantly. Like they say, don't build a castle on sand, it's,
Yeah.
you build your castle on firm rock.
It's
Yeah.
exciting because everybody knows the first few steps. Oh, we got to do this, and you go off and do it, and you're like, wait, what, where, and whose, and don't we need that guy, and weren't we supposed to have this, and
Mm-hmm.
and then all momentum is lost. You're like, oh, that's not doing well, and then everyone's demoralized.
Yeah, and it's so hard to go back and have to backtrack and then start
Mhm.
over, and
Mhm.
such a pain in the rear.
Yeah, and I think part of it is like you have to admit that, well, maybe rushing off and doing it all half cocked wasn't smart. Nobody wants to admit they weren't smart. It was someone else's fault.
Yeah.
Mm.
Always everybody else's fault.
Yeah.
Of
Well,
course.
and that's having the good people in line that, you can trust to keep the foundation in line as well.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So, yeah, that's a really good
So
one.
true. So true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You keep bringing light to the simplest things that, but they're
know.
so what's the word I'm looking for? Needed,
sense
so
isn't
necessary. Yeah,
common
it's so common sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
Right. The common sense that isn't so common. You don't
right.
like the people, like you have to have good people. You have to talk.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You have to talk to each other. And you brought that up one week. And it's like you have to communicate.
Yeah.
Seems like that would be really simple, but it's not always. So.
It is, as long as it's there.
Right, as long as it happens.
Yeah. But the first time it's not there, you're like, this is really bad. Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. I mean, that's thank you again, Murphy. Short and sweet.
I can probably be here 15 more minutes or 20.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's so great to be part. It's so great to be part of this, you guys. I love that. Sometimes when you say you're like, this is so common, surely people understand this, and I've spent so much of my life going, but this I understand it. And other people are like, well, I'm gonna do my thing and that's the best idea. I'm like, yeah, but there's wait. And then, like, wait, there is an audience for people who are willing to accept common sense, even if they weren't the first one to think of it the way I thought of it. So the ability to come here with people who get it and share and be valuable is really, really meaningful to me. So thank you all.
Well, thank you, Murphy. Yeah, it's you bring that insight every week, and it was a great catch on Corey's part to bring you in. So I'm thankful he brought you to our little group here. So although I shouldn't say little. What's that?
I miss Corey.
Yeah, me too. I actually, I admittedly, I've fallen behind on reaching out to him. I should do that. So,
Well, if he's listening,
been kinda-
Corey, miss you.
yes, we miss you very much, and we hope you're doing well, Corey.
Absolutely.
It's actually, yeah, he was tweeting a bit for a while there, and then it seemed like he stopped. So, I mean, I hope he didn't have any setbacks or anything like that. So,
Yeah, I need to check on him.
yeah, definitely check. Yeah, and if for all of our listeners out there, if you're thinking of Corey, maybe I'm gonna flood him with DM messages, but
Oh, there we go.
go reach out to Corey, tell him you say hi. I'm sure he'd love to hear from you. He's doing his thing, and we're all, even though we may not reach out, we are always thinking about him. So all right, so we already started talking about it, and things coming up in the summer and vacationing and things like that. So really the question of the group now is, what are you excited for this summer? Because this is now the summer that could be 2019. Like we can the summer of 2020 was what it was, and we were kind of open but not really, and everybody was trying to make things work. But this is now 2021, and everybody's kind of reopening, and like we were talking about, masks are coming off. And so what are you excited for this summer?
Murphy.
It doesn't have to be AV related either. This is the life portion of AV life. So
What am I
Renee, it looks like you want to say
Tell
something.
you that I don't, we were just talking about how they, you're going into stores and aren't wearing masks, some are, some aren't. I feel like I'm just excited to get whatever we can back. If
Mm.
that's concerts, outdoor festivals, we're having fireworks for the 4th of July. All the fireworks were all canceled last year. And honestly, just no more, I feel like no more excuses, right? It's like, oh, I can't come because of COVID, or hey, I can't come. No more excuses. We are going to live. I have been in and out of several airports. People are traveling, people are moving around this country. And so to me, just to get the world back, but not a little bit, I think we're going to be back. Now we're dealing with a lot of supply chain issues. I think those of us on the manufacturing side are going to have a lot of issues the next few months, but we're all in it together. It's, you know what I mean? There's not really very many manufacturers that aren't going through some sort of delay and all that stuff. But I mean, pool parties, lake, I don't know. I could keep talking. I'm just.
Well, yeah, and here
excited.
I agree. I always the one thing I am not looking forward to this summer is whatever delays I'm going to end up getting from product as I'm trying to get it in. Because
Yeah.
now that like I'm finally getting oh yeah, you have money for this and you have money for that, and we could go start ordering things. It's like, it's almost July. And
Yeah.
I am now placing orders for things, and I'm getting like anxious that things, because I've already experienced it with some vendors where it's like, yeah, you're not getting it to August. And I'm like, like,
Yeah.
so, but then I have other vendors who are like, oh yeah, we got stuff in stock. Like they've
Yeah.
built up their surplus. So that way, hopefully this doesn't impact them too much. But yeah, that's one thing I'm not looking forward to.
Yeah, that part of our jobs is not going to be the fun part. Or for a lot of people that are going back to the office, commutes.
Mm.
Everybody's back out on the roads. All of a sudden, rush hour is really rush hour again. That
Yeah,
part
stop. I've enjoyed my
Yeah.
commute without everybody on the road, and now everyone's back on the road. So
Yeah. And, I know there's some companies that are saying, by July or by August, you're going to be back in the office. We're going to be back in the office. That's how it's going to be. And some people, I think that we're going to see a lot of people probably shifting still, because I think there's going to be people that say, I'm not going back in, or I'm going back in come in twice a week or 3 times a week. So I think we're going to see some things happening there too. But
mhm. Yeah. Nancy, if you're talking, you're muted.
Sorry, because my son was loud, so.
That's okay.
Here actually in Silicon Valley with Google and Facebook and all those, is that they're allowing, if you want to work remote, that's fine. But if you move, your pay will be adjusted.
Ooh.
So now you wonder how many, well, I was thinking about this. Honestly, how many workers would actually be honest about that? Because you can work from anywhere. So is there a way that you could tweak it so you're still being paid the Northern California salaries, however you're working somewhere else or living somewhere else? So I mean, that's what
Gotta have a PO
wonder.
box in
Yeah.
LA, so that way.
Not even that, but like, because you've got your bank account, so everything's through there, your mortgage, your rent, or what have you. And so you could be somewhere else that everything's going through that. Maybe you're on a different time zone, but you have to be able to adjust to that. So when you have your meetings, you
Yeah.
might be at 3 a.m, but you're looking peachy keen and cheery.
Yeah. You're in your
I don't
pajama
know.
bottoms, but nice.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Okay.
already telling you my plans.
Oh.
Wow.
Oopsie.
Don't let it get out, Nancy.
Delete
Yeah.
that part.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I was to say, I'm definitely guilty, and I'll admit it now that we're kind of going back to the office. I've definitely had those. Yeah, I'm good from the waist up, But
Yeah.
from, below that, it's like, yeah, sweatpants or, pajama pants, and that's it.
Yeah.
The whole world has learned how to pay attention to what's in the frame.
Exactly.
Well, then it's not,
My,
yeah. It's
little
not
16 by
necessary-
9 frame is,
Yeah. Now, I will say there are certain companies that feel that the employees should be back at work.
oh
and-
yeah.
And
Yep.
have them back at work. And I'm not mentioning any, but that's where they feel is that the communication is necessary and getting things done. And even for the salespeople, which salespeople don't have to be in the office, honestly.
They shouldn't
Sure.
be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they should be out selling, right?
But I think it's the mentality, and I think it has to do with a certain area, Renee, like the certain region and things. I think more that for us, Murphy, California, is that we're more flexible in our thinking and the way that we do things. But I think the Midwest and East Coast are operate differently. And that's just my observation.
Has a lot to do with culture.
Yeah.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, yeah, and that's all about leadership too. And it's like we've got a couple of the big corporations that are being like, yes, everybody's back in. And it's like, okay, I mean, they're always worried about penny pinching and getting every dollar back to the investors and whatever it might be, or the stockholders. But then when it comes to something like that, where it's a very simple thing that you don't even need to necessarily have everybody back or come up with some rotation where people are back, you could downsize your building, still be productive. And I
Yeah.
think that's something that we learned. As I think the overall thing is that most people saw that even being remote, people are just as productive or even more so productive.
Right.
Yeah.
It's,
But-
I mean, I mean, I'll admit there was a little bit of a learning curve for me doing my job remote, but there are definitely times where I've noticed like I'll be doing work later at night, because I got my laptop and I know I'm not going in the next day, or I'm just working around whatever time I have available. So,
But I think it works both ways, right? I think we all figured it out. Well, I mean, I've been working remote for, I don't know, 12 years or so, but I think that if you had challenges with it and you need to get back into an office and that's where you focus better and you do better, then more power to you. I think we each have, because I know there are some people that, even my customers, there's a few that say, I had to get back to an office. I had to, I got 3 kids running around, and then I had to get back to an office to get, to be able to concentrate and do my job. And then there's some that are like, I'm never going back full time. So I think I hate the word hybrid because it's been used more than whatever is more than overused means. But it's I think that's going to be that way for shows. I mean, I wonder, I'm a huge concert freak. I love going to concerts. I love live music. Are they still going to stream those and have the crowd? Maybe on a paid per event. I mean, I don't know.
yeah.
Well, yeah. And what I'm saying, Tim, is there are certain upper management that they just feel you have to be in the office. You have to show your face. You have to be that team player of staying there until 7 o'clock at night. Even though you don't do anything, you might sit from 5 to 7 because you finished your work, but you're a team player. That's the problem. That's how toxic our our office environment is, I guess I could say. And I've been part of that, where I worked for an Israeli firm and they actually said to me, you're leaving too early. And I said, what are you talking about? I've finished my job. And they said, well, could you stay around because it'll make it look better for the other employees? And I said, so let me get this straight. And I said this. So if I stay till 7 o'clock and I play games on my computer, will that make everybody happy? And they said, well, yeah, it'll be better. And I said, wow, okay. And I lasted less than 2 months.
But that's what I'm saying. I think there's gonna be a lot of movement because there's gonna be people that aren't gonna put up with that anymore. They're saying, hey,
Yeah.
I'm not 5 days a week back in an office. And there's a
Yeah.
lot of opportunities out there right now. There's a lot of
Yeah.
openings. And I think if you're gonna be in a situation like where you're talking about, Nancy, you might get good people that are gonna leave because they could go. I mean, instead of bargaining about a salary, it's gonna be, hey, I need to work from home, or hey, I need to be at home twice a week, or
Right.
whatever.
Wellness, right?
It's gonna be
Wellness, I think.
yeah, bargaining for schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I read an article or like a post or something like that on LinkedIn. It's a very similar story to that, where the person was basically being forced to work late because everybody else was. And I guess it also depends on the industry that you're in. I mean, in higher ed, it's just kind of, we're very fluid about everything. Some of us have to be on site because we have, there's stuff that has to be done in classrooms and you can't do that remotely. But I could do my administrative stuff from home. I could log in and fill out all my project notes and, update my Gantt charts and things like that. I could do that from home. I got a little smile out of Murphy for that one. I could do that sort of stuff from home, but I need to be in to install projectors, install speakers, and, do walkthroughs. And so it's, I think it varies in that respect too. So,
Yeah.
but I think more and more as things are digital, people should be able to be home if they need, if they so choose, because it's not for
Yeah.
everybody, but so.
Yep.
All right. So no more work stuff. What about what other fun things
I'm
are we
looking
ready
forward
for?
to live events. I'm looking forward to live events,
Yeah.
some live music, some plays, all of that.
Mhm.
I agree.
I'm ready. I'm ready for Broadway. I'm ready for that to come back. I saw they announced the date for Music Man with Hugh Jackman. It's
Oh.
December 20th. I'm ready to go out and drop the $300 per ticket. That's probably going to be to go see him, but I'm ready to do that because that would be awesome.
We're that ready. We're that ready.
I
I
am
know.
that ready. Yes.
I've got a concert. I think it's September now, but it's been rescheduled 4 times. And I don't know why they kept pushing it out only a few months, but I can't wait for September. It's I can't wait to get to a concert. But we do have some local clubs around that have been doing bands again. So the band, mostly outdoor kind of stuff, but it's yes, this feels real. I'm drinking beer and outside with my friends, listening to live music and dancing. And it's yes, so exciting. See, now it's you don't realize that you took all that for granted, right? To go out and listen to some wonderful music. Now it's that's a major treat now.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
it.
I went to Lowe's, I think a couple days ago, and going back to the mask thing, and I just walked in without my mask on and without it on, and no one said anything, and I was like, wait a minute, am I supposed to be wearing? And it was like, I'm not wearing my mask, and I'm in a store. I'm like, wow, it
Yeah.
felt so good. But then also there was that little voice in the back of my head that was like, why are you doing this? So you should be wearing your mask. And I'm like, well,
Yeah,
so,
well, you have to get untrained,
yeah,
took a minute to get used to it. Now we got to get back out of it. So I feel like it's making people happy too. There's a lot of people that suffered with depression and just kind of that locked up syndrome. So I think people are maybe breathing a sigh of relief and fresh air for that matter. Yeah.
Yeah. So going on live events, my wife and I have a friend of ours that works at one of the local arenas, and she was saying that they've already given her warning that if there's not a game, there will be a concert or some other performance. They are trying to chalk this, they're trying to fill up that schedule as much as they can. So that's exciting because it's so if there's not a hockey game or something like that, then there's going to be a concert. So any open date, it's be ready for something. And I've been scouring all the local venues, and I'm just waiting for that right concert to if it wasn't for the fact that I know I just can't go every day, like I would just be buying tickets. Like just I don't care who it is. I'm gonna go see them. And
We're gonna have to go get second jobs to afford our live events life.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Live Nation, you want to support, be a sponsor of the AV Life and give us tickets to everything?
Yes.
We'll report back. We'll review you. So
Give great reviews.
exactly.
So Murphy, you're going to visit family.
Yes, my aunt, who is 90, and
Wow.
that's my father's sister, and my uncle, who is younger, my mother's brother, and then a friend that I've known since we were single digits lives there.
It's so beautiful there. What part of Colorado?
Denver.
All right.
Yeah.
There's a lot
I've
going on.
never been out to Colorado. I've been to Utah and but not Colorado. So actually,
Wait,
I've really never.
Airport, Murphy. There are people everywhere. It's crazy. It's a busy, busy airport.
I am a little worried about the airports. Like it's gonna be nuts, and because I'm just like, oh, okay. So I'm planning to be there early to everything.
Yeah, people are traveling and it is, I actually, when we travel back from my vacation for my grandson's birthday, I have pre-checked, my husband does not. And we were at the airport, and it's a small Pensacola is not a very big airport. And I think I got through and I think I waited 45 minutes for him. And it's an airport of like 9 gates. It's a not very big airport. It's like,
Wow.
just the lines are just, it's unbelievable. But I'm just happy you're getting out and you're going to go
I
sit.
know. I'm glad that it's extremely fortuitous that I chose this moment.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Well, I'm excited. I'm hoping that either my sister is coming out this way, or hopefully in the next maybe year I could get out back to Utah. I want to see my niece that I have not yet seen.
Right.
So yeah, she just celebrated her one year birthday, her first birthday. Yeah. And she's walking all over the place. She's a little runner like my sister was. So it's kind of cute, and that's exciting. I'm hoping that that's going to happen. That my sister keeps going back and forth about flying versus road tripping across the country.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, just
Well,
waiting on
speaking-
whatever. What's that?
Speaking of which, I should step away. Thank you all.
Oh, okay.
Hard.
Oh, yeah, it's about that time.
All
Good night,
right.
Murphy.
Have a good night.
Yeah, well, I hope that happens so you can meet your niece and see.
I know. I mean, I've seen, yeah, well, yeah, and my sister too. I've seen my sister a bunch of times, so it's but
that's-
yeah, that's one of those, so they're really close to like thinking about just driving, but they're like, but then we have to stop, and then there's hotels to think about, and it's like, because both of them are vaccinated, but with the little one, it's hard to decide how to manage that.
And that's a
So-
long haul, isn't it? I mean, that would be,
I think it's 3 days, I think, by
Oh.
car,
boy,
especially with a little one. Like,
That's a long drive. Yeah.
that's a long
think
drive.
so.
Yeah. I was gonna
oh,
say.
see, now I gotta look it up, because like I don't know what that would actually entail. Let's
Yeah.
see.
Because I feel,
Where are you going to?
This
No.
would be, well, my sister is talking about either driving back out here in New Jersey or flying to come and visit
What, from
So-
where?
from Utah.
Oh, okay.
that's a haul.
So
Yeah.
it's a
yeah.
haul. So that's where,
Yeah.
I'm just
I feel
trying
like
to see.
that's a haul for me and you're even further. You're
Yeah,
far.
all right. Not if it's nonstop, it's 35 hours.
Oh, my goodness gracious. I
Take
could-
a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and when you're traveling with a 1-year-old, it could be really good because they could sleep a lot, or it could be really bad.
Yeah.
It could
Well,
be-
when we went to Disney for the first time with my son, he was only 10 months old, and it was great because we traveled overnight and he slept through the night. We
yeah.
didn't have to stop. So aside for gas.
Yeah.
So although no, that first trip I was okay. It was the second time we drove down. I overdid it on chocolate covered espresso beans. And by the morning I had the shakes and I was like nauseous. Oh, it was terrible. It was absolutely awful. So
Yeah.
we're driving, and then after that we were like, okay, we're not driving down overnight again. We will just take our time, and now we do it in 2 days.
2 days.
So
There you go.
But
Break
you
it
know
up.
what? That's a funny thing though, Tim, because is that well, okay, so from Ontario, we would do the same thing, is that we would leave 11 o'clock at night, drive over the US border, and then drive on to where it was that we were going with my folks. And for you to say that just brought a deja vu that I was wondering, is it like a regional thing where you feel the need that you have to drive, at night and then through the night to get to where your destination is?
I mean, I guess in a way. And what we've started to do now is that we still leave at night, but my goal is to get beyond Washington, DC. So I feel like if I clear Washington, DC, I'm avoiding traffic, which is probably is that why you travel over the border at night? Is to
My
avoid the
folks
traffic?
told me it was always easier with customs
Yeah.
to go late at night, that you could just breeze through.
Right. So I'm trying to avoid traffic in DC by going at night. And so but yeah, it was the same thing. Actually, I went to Florida with some of my fraternity brothers years ago, and that's what the three of us, we started overnight. We drove through the night, got there the next morning or like the next afternoon. And, I feel like there's also the mentality that you're not losing any time then at your destination. The time that you would be normally sleeping, you are spending driving instead. So,
But you're not sleeping though.
well, I switched. So the last time
Because
I
if you
switched
got your
off.
eyes closed while you're driving, I got a concern with that.
No. I switched off with my father-in-law on the last trip. That we did the overnight. So I did from, I think it was about 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. I think I did like in 8 hours, and then me and him switched for the other half, and
Yeah.
I slept in. So
My husband he can do that. I cannot. He went to New Jersey to pick up his son who plays ball there. Flew to New Jersey, picked up his truck, and I was looking at places for him to stop so he could get a room and sleep. No, 16 hours, I think it was. It drove straight through, only stopped for bathroom breaks and gas. I was like, what is wrong with you? You're by yourself? I could never do that. I could never do that.
I can't do that anymore. Like physically, my body will not allow me to do that anymore.
Yeah.
When I did that with my fraternity brothers, I was 24 years old. So it's like, all right, like I could do that then. I can't do that now.
Well, and even if you had somebody, like you said, just to break it up and, share the ride with and stuff, but yeah, by myself, I think mine's about 5 to 6 hours. Any more than 5 to 6, I'm flying. I just can't. do it.
But it's funny listening to Tim. You're getting old. You're getting mature.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's gray in this beard now. So it's,
Wait till they happen in your eyebrows.
oh yeah.
And you don't want to pluck your eyebrows, because then that takes the less hair out.
Well, I have contemplated getting the Just for Men stuff and covering it up. So it has started to cross the mind. So
Oh, that's
I
funny.
know. Decisions.
Yeah.
Renee,
yeah,
decisions.
well, part of me also is like, maybe I'll just shave it all off and go back to baby face. But then my wife goes, no, you're not doing that. And I'm like, okay. So
Oh, she likes beard mustache. See, I don't. I like a fresh face.
yeah.
And that's
Well,
funny, because my ex-hubby, he's got like you. So that's why it's like every time I see him, I'm like, no.
That's funny.
So, all right, well, let's wrap this up with one last thing here. Nancy, is there anything you're particularly excited for the summer? Actually, before we move on.
This past actually this past weekend, two of my favorite local bands played. I canceled with friends because I just didn't feel like going out. I
Mhm.
don't, this Saturday, same thing, right across the dive bar, that same band is going to be playing in the afternoon. And I'm like, I don't know. I just, it's going to take me a bit, I think. The art and wine festivals are starting. They're starting in
Mhm.
September, which is something I always did. But I don't know. Just being at home has sort of grounded me, and I think it's gonna be a little bit for me to get out. I did go a couple Fridays ago. This new French bistro opened up in Los Gatos, and that was great. That was really good to get out without the masks and things like that. But the amount of money that I spent going out socially to not going out and how much money I've saved, I think that is what is making me a little gibberish about starting going out socially again. I think that's a big thing because I spent mucho dineros.
Yep. Well, we have our first day that I've noticed that is like completely full of like events. It's in July, and we were looking at the schedule, and like people sent us like birthday invitations, and also it's like the first day that we have like end to end invites. It's like,
Yeah.
wait, what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
and that'll probably be the only thing we do for like 2 or 3 weeks. We get for similar kind of thing, Nancy. It's like it's kind of nice being home, but yeah, it's like we still have to be social a little bit. So
and think about it, like with the birthdays and that, now all of a sudden it's like ka-ching, ka-ching, because you're having to buy birthday presents and stuff. And I think that's what puts it into reality is, oh my gosh, I was spending this much money socially,
Going out.
and now I've saved this much money, of which what I did is I put all that money into my 401k. I said, okay, that's it, because I'm not spending any. And now all of a sudden it's opening up and I'm thinking, oh, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
well, there you go. Got to tuck it away for a rainy day there, Nancy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all right, so there you go. A little bit of everything here. Some excitement and some let's stay home. So
Yeah.
all of which are okay if you're feeling in any of those directions. So
Exactly.
so all right. So firing range is now happening. So pew pew. And this one, and it's not something to argue about so much or debate about. It's more that it's kind of like one of those, how did this happen? And it comes to us from let's see, where was this from?
It was
Pennsylvania, I think it was. Oh no, Atlanta, Georgia.
yeah.
It was a green metal box was stuffed inside a bright pink pillowcase and stashed in the bushes behind this gentleman's house. He hauled it out for a better look, and on the box it said cartridges for weapons, and inside he found 30 armor piercing grenades. And these are live grenades that were apparently stolen from where was that? It was
On a rail car.
Marine Corps depot in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah.
And somebody stole it off a rail train. And so how do we think this happened? Someone's losing a job here, I think.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around this story, period. It's like, I was like,
Yeah.
is this true? Yeah, it's true. But how does this happen? What in holy nation is going on here?
Right, exactly. And the person that stole these, I mean, they're not like your regular little hand grenade. This is, they go through 3 inches of steel at 50 feet away. Like these are not like, these are like ridiculously strong grenades.
I know this is a stupid question, but how heavy do you think this box was? Did it say?
I don't remember seeing it. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's.
I mean, because
It sounded like it was just.
like each one
Yeah.
should be kind of heavy, right? I don't know.
Right, yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I don't
yeah.
know much about grenades, but I think that they,
It looks like they have a box, so they have a picture at the top of the article, and it looks like it says on the side of the box 41 pounds. So it's
That's
not
not-
exactly,
okay.
it's not ridiculously heavy, but it's not something that you could just throw over your shoulder in a pillowcase. You know, it's
Oh.
yeah.
But then again, is how was it that it was so easily hidden?
I
That
know.
nobody would actually see it after all these years.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
I wonder, the part that I didn't see is how long, I wonder how long it was sitting there in this guy's yard.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Did he
Yeah.
come out the next morning and find it? Did it sit there for a long? But I think that there's got to be a trail from, and I know they said they paid this company to do all this stuff. There's got to be a trail of people who are in deep doo-doo over this.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh yeah, this is a heads will roll situation. You know, someone's going to do, their PT work for a long
for a
time.
Because I know that when my son is in the Marines and worked on jets, I mean, every single thing they did has your name attached to it. And if something goes wrong, they know exactly who put this widget into this hole. I mean, they know every detail. And I'm thinking, how did our military let this many loopholes happen in one situation?
Mm.
I mean, I've
And
been on bases where it's like you're getting the 9th degree to even get on base to go visit your son. Look, I can't.
Right.
I just
Well,
freaking
and
out.
the Marines actually don't have, or anyone in the military have, a train system. They're actually the company was CSX that they was relying on. And I mean, here in New Jersey, I see those trailers all the time on the freight lines in New Jersey. So
Yeah.
they're stating that there was no seal exceptions were identified while the container was in our possession. So
Mm.
if
Something
they
felt
did,
really cracked.
yeah, if
Something.
they did their job, then that means it was an inside job to get it out before it got on the train.
Yeah.
So, or it's somebody inside of CSX that is trying to get the stuff across. And these things, on top of the fact that they're launchable grenades, like, and they're chained together like a machine gun. Like, it's this is not like just a throw it grenade too. So
But even though
it's-
they're using this third party, why isn't there some sort of guard, a Marine guard that goes
yeah, I don't know.
with the equipment? I just don't get this. But I think the scariest part, other than it got stolen, is that not all of them were recovered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, for real? So
Yeah.
whoever stole them, who randomly put them in some yard, kept 2 for themselves?
Sounding
Yeah.
like a Russian thing, huh, Renee?
It's
I don't know. I'm not a huge conspiracy theorist, but there's something getting ready to happen somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't think somebody's
so-
putting this at in their man cave, like, look what I have. Like, there's something only bad gonna happen out of this deal. This is freaking
Yeah.
me.
So it's good. It's good that it's good that they caught it when they did before it goes any further. Yeah, because
Right.
I think some bad things are happening. Hold on, I got Darth Vader joining me here.
Oh,
Right.
hey.
Hold on, come here, come on like this. There we go. There's Darth Vader with me.
We're all gonna need that gear if that grenade is anywhere near us. Jeez.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we're gonna need some armor and some breathing apparatus, and so yeah. So this is like the crazy stuff that's out there right now. So this came from, and I know this is from a legit news source because I got this from NPR. So
Right.
it's not like I got this from the Star or the Sun or
Yeah.
one of those guys. Like, this is something.
No, I
So,
forwarded it to my Marine kids and I said, have you guys heard about this? And they're like, yeah, this is crazy. Somebody's gonna get their, what handed to them. 'Cause
Yeah.
They will
Yeah.
track it, and even if
Yeah.
it's a third party, somebody's gonna. Because
Actually, I should send this to my brother-in-law. I'd be like, hey, it's like, it's like, what do you know? It's like,
Right. Well, and I was hoping Spence would be on because Spence is got military in his family too.
yeah.
His
Yeah.
thought would be on this field, but wow. I don't know.
So-
Like I said earlier before we started recording, I'm like, I feel like my jaw was on the ground the whole time I was reading this article. I'm like, what? Crazy.
This is like something out of a movie. Like this is something that this doesn't happen like in real life.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
now I feel like it's gonna be written into that's gonna be the latest summer blockbuster for like 2023.
There
So
we go. I agree.
sorry, Darth Vader hurt himself.
Oh, he did. He is so cute.
I know.
Need to ask him what we should have for our backgrounds.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're beyond bedtime at this point. So
Oh, yeah.
all right.
right.
So
We better
uh,
wrap it up so you can.
I
get
think
your-
it's time to
Yep.
wrap this up. Yes. So Renee and Nancy, thank you so much for joining me tonight. And thank you to Murphy. And one of these days we're gonna get Joe Way back. He keeps saying he's gonna keep coming back, and he is celebrating his
He's
wife's
too
birthday.
big for our bridges.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, today
yeah.
does have an excuse for today.
Yeah, today is his wife's birthday. We want him to remain married to her.
Yes. Yeah.
So let's. Yeah,
We'll
we don't.
get him today.
Yes, we'll give him this week, and then he'll have to come back another week. We'll see what happens, and we'll. Sorry, Darth Vader. Darth Vader is really coming back in here again. So
Those who are just listening, you'll have to go find our video.
yes, go to YouTube. Go to higheredav.com.
Yeah.
Go to the AV Life. Pull up the YouTube video and watch the video. We're all there. We got fun backgrounds, and you can see what we look like if you care to know what we look like, and you can see Darth Vader infiltrate the podcast. Oh yes, and there's the space background that he loved
Sure.
too. So
Yeah.
all right, well, thank you all for
Thanks.
listening. Thank you for joining us, and until our next adventure.